What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Chris Gunther Show. Appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure that you like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. One of my favorite people is back. It's so good to see her. Without any further ado, the Chris Gunther Show welcomes back Miss Brittney Bradley. What's going on, sis?
I'm amazing.
I don't do this for every guest, but give me love. Give me love first.
There we go. Oh,
it's good to see you.
Always, all love.
Man, it's good to see you. I know it's been a little minute. You know, you obviously have been doing a lot behind the scenes. We're going to hit on that real soon, but how does it feel just to be back home, even if it's for a little bit?
It feels great. It feels good. It's a reminder of why I had to do what I had to do. So yeah, it's always love being shown home, you know what I mean? It's just like I said, that reminder, like, yo, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I was created to do what I'm doing.
And for those that do not know, Britt actually relocated to Costa Rica. You know, let's hit on that real quick. What made you decide to relocate?
So it was like a plethora of things. So I first had got out like a really bad relationship, and then I kind of just was going through a lot of things in business, and business was going really, really well, but it was starting to become overwhelming with like so many things I was doing over the years, a lot of like trauma that I went through that I didn't really deal with. So it was really God, because I think I just got fed up and I was like, you know what, this is it. So I always say God literally took me to Costa Rica because I was researching on the internet on how I could move abroad, and somebody had connected me to a woman who could actually help me, and we did a consultation, and I was like, I'm out, and I moved in like 30 days.
During that 30-day process, did you ever feel that maybe I really shouldn't go and I just got to tough it out here?
No, it was crazy because when I had the consultation with her, I was like so excited to go. And I remember talking to Pastor Locke, actually, you know, our rest in peace. Yes. He came into the shop to buy a fedora hat. And he was like, I was like, Pastor Locke, you know, I'm moving to Costa Rica. And I was like, and you know what? I'm not even afraid or anything. And he was like, you know what that is? And I was like, what? He was like, you found your peace. And I was like, oh, because I didn't know. A lot of people were like trying to talk me out of it. Like, it's a third world country. You sure you want to do this? So I stopped telling people. Like, I didn't even tell anybody anymore. I was like, it was like a secret, because I didn't want people to put that energy onto me anymore. So yeah, but to answer your question, no, I wasn't scared at all. I didn't have any doubts. I was like, I got to do this. I got to do this for me.
In one of the first interviews we ever did, you kept mentioning energy. You kept mentioning you're big on energy, and if something doesn't feel right, then you have to go. As much as we love Youngstown, it does have the energy to drain you. What was, for you, the moment that made you say, I just got to leave?
It was after the pandemic. I caught COVID actually in 2020. I caught COVID after my 32nd birthday. And I was in the house. This is when COVID first had hit, so I had to do the whole 14 days.
Whole 14.
And as you know, I'm in customer service. Like, I'm dealing with people every day. I come from a big family. So when I had to sit in the house for like those 2 weeks, I had a mental breakdown. And I would go outside and I would like, you know, ride my bike, or I would go walk in, and that was the only time that I feel like I can get like some type of clarity. So when that had hit, I did a lot of like just soul searching, because I spent time just by myself. I never had spent that much time by myself. So that's when I just started noticing like, yo, none of this makes sense to me anymore. Like, I can't even go out and interact with people. And I was just like, yo, I gotta go. I gotta find who I am outside of all of this, outside of family, friends, relationship, business, everything. Like, I didn't know me anymore. So
the hardest thing is to admit that you don't know you anymore. You're constantly on the grind, constantly building people, you know, tagging you on social media left and right about B's Boutique, but people only see what you want them to see. And that's the dangerous part about social media. But for you, as somebody that is naturally a private person, was it for you, when you decided to move, was there anybody else that knew about it, or it was just you?
It was my family, like a small like circle. I had a small gathering at my shop like right before I left. So I would tell like the people that were close to me, but a lot of people didn't know.
Nothing wrong with it. Like
Yeah.
I still remember when I found out, and I gave you the biggest hug. I said congratulations, because this is a whole new chapter and is a whole new start. But the foundation is here. And did you ever have moments when you were in Costa Rica that made you say, I think I just want to go back home?
No. Well, I take that back. The first 90 days, like I cried. You know, I was, because you got to think, I went down there. No one spoke English. Like everyone spoke Spanish. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have family or friends. I went by myself. So it was definitely uncomfortable, but I was like, okay, if I go back, what was the whole purpose of me coming here? You know what I mean? And I would talk to my sister, and she was like, Brittney, you just got to stick it through. Like, you know, I didn't have a coach or anything or a mentor, so when I was down there, I still had to come up with a routine, because I don't like wasting time. So I was like, now that I'm here, now what? So that's when I would get up and, you know, I would just devote to God. I would go out and be in nature and just meditate and, you know, just sun gaze. And like I would just literally really devote to God. Like I would just pray, because I had to get some type of clarity on why I was doing what I was doing. Because I was still kind of clueless. You know, I knew I didn't want to be in Youngstown anymore, and I knew I didn't want to be doing anything that it like involved some type of business, because I was just burnt out. So yeah, I had thought about it, but that was only like when I first went. And thank God for my sister, because she was like, yo, you got to push through. She been to prison. So I always say it was like a prison in paradise. And I say that because I didn't know anyone. You know, I had a beautiful home. Like, I mean, like literally paradise. So I would have to coach myself to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go out, meditate, you know, just connect with nature, journal, you know. So I went on my whole spiritual, like just I don't know, like just got in my spiritual just whole realm, I guess you can call it.
During the time that you were away and you were, you know, seeking the Lord and wanting to have a spiritual journey, what do you feel were some of the things that God showed you about yourself that you had no idea when you were there compared to when you were here?
So I didn't realize how much trauma I was suppressing. Like it was a lot of trauma and just grief that I hadn't dealt with properly. You know, I've been through a lot, and I think I was actually able to start my healing process. And that was first being aware of it, and then forgiving myself for a lot of things that I didn't know why I was, you know, I had to go through that. So it was, and then it like the grief turned into gratitude, because I started like forgiving myself, and then loving on myself, and, you know, learning how to talk to myself. Because again, like I said, I was by myself, so I was so intentional about how I started to do things, versus when I was here, I was like on a rat race. You know, it's like, when do I got this next event? I got to post this on Facebook. It was always something. Now I'm in this space, and I have nothing but time to actually just get to know Brittney. And I got to look at myself in the most vulnerable place. And that took a lot. Like, it took a lot of patience. It took a lot of truth. I have a nonprofit, it's called Walking in My Truth, and I believe that's when I really started walking in my whole truth. And just being real with me, like not even trying to sugarcoat or dress it up, really telling myself what I like and what I don't like, just not living in nobody's shadow, not even a business shadow, but just being my authentic self.
We can be honest and transparent about a lot of things. You know, you dealt with your things, I've dealt with mine, and it does make you have to sit back and recharge. But, you know, there is an old saying, there is no place like home. And you know I'm a huge sports guy, particularly basketball, by the way. My jumper is still wet, I know y'all see it. But the reason why I bring that up is because, you know, Michael Jordan couldn't stay away from basketball too long. Even LeBron came back to Cleveland. So what was the moment that hit you where you said, it's time to go back home?
I was sun gazing, and it was more of like I knew I was slowly growing out of my business, like Bees Boutique per se. And I was like, okay, what's next? I always ask myself, what's next? And as you know, I had opened the shop during the pandemic to other small businesses to showcase their product in the shop. So I was just like, I always been for the people. I always did women empowerment, you know. So it was just like, God, what are you doing with me? Because I was pretty much like checked out of a lot of things. And he was like, I heard a voice like, just go back and like be that person to speak your truth. Be that person to make it okay for people to be vulnerable and not like try to live up in this image. Because, everybody's trying to, and I can speak for me, like, once you get in that space, it's like, oh, what do I need to do next? You're steady trying to produce something that you don't even know how to make time for yourself.
Right.
So it's like, I'm steady working and working. I'm whether you're a mother or, a wife or a girlfriend, it's always something you have to do. So it's like, when do you have that time or that space to actually just connect with self? So I was like, that's something I need to bring back to my city.
Even though you were away, it's obvious that you still had a heart here and you still wanted to make sure that things were good. So exactly what are you doing now that you're back home?
So now it's kind of similar to what I did for the Black Cultural Habitat, but it's just different. We got a twist to it, so I don't want to give too much away. But like I said, it's definitely going to be a great asset to the city. And I'm excited to just collaborate with like-minded, conscious people. And yeah. What do you think about it?
Well, I know what's really going on behind the scenes, but that's the beauty of me being me is I know stuff that y'all don't know. So I won't even go into all of that. But it's always great to see you and to even, dive in a little bit deeper into, doing things different, because Bees Boutique was and still is a huge success. Everybody was either shopping here or shopping online, etc. But now it's different. What are some of the things that you plan on doing a little different this time around?
This time around, it's still Bees Boutique. I don't want people to get the idea like we're just not here anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's just under new management, and I don't know. I don't want to give too much away. You guys got to see, but it'll definitely still be catered to women. But we'll have like a more like, I can say we'll have pieces more than like a whole. Like before it was just I had stuff for everybody, but I'm kind of like limiting it to just like pieces. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Life is all about evolving, and life is all about the journey. How much have you evolved since you've returned home?
Ooh, I honestly know, and I'm speaking from knowing, and it's a journey, but I believe I'm walking in my whole self. So I would say I'm like 100% in my evolvement, and I say that because I'm a whole different person. Like I really had to reintroduce myself to myself. So that was where it was like, oh yeah, it's next level, Brittney. For me, you know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe you can attest to this. Like when you interview certain people, you just look at yourself in another rank. You know what I mean? Because we just being real.
So keep it real.
Yeah, so you constantly have to give yourself your flowers. And when you ride, like for me to move out of the country, and my business was able to still flourish.
Yeah, still winning Businesswoman of the Year too, by the way. Oh, I saw that award when I walked in here.
By the grace of God again, and that's, when I solely started to put my faith and my trust in God, like, okay, God, you got control now, because I'm in a whole nother country. I'm still getting my flowers. I'm still winning awards. My business is still being ran successfully, and I'm not even there. So, yeah, like I look at myself on a whole nother level because I didn't do that. I give nothing but grace and gratitude to God, so it's pretty much like, yeah, I know this is what I see now is just maybe like a surface, because I know God has something even greater, because I keep getting like blown away, you know, after when things happen to me, and it's not even anything like tangible or like, you know, monetary. It's like real miracles, like blessings, like so.
I think you get to a point where you grow out of materialistic things.
Absolutely.
You grow out of chasing the clout. You grow out of all of the stuff that isn't really tangible. Mm-hmm. And you more so start to focus on the things that you can really use long term. Mm-hmm. Having a peace of mind, mm-hmm. making sure that your spirit is right, making sure that your energy is cleansed. How proud is Brittney now compared to how Brittney was feeling back in 2020?
I'm extremely proud. Like, I'm extremely proud of myself. Just to be able to sit in a space and have that peace of mind. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's not something that comes easy, but I believe I put more time into creating those spaces to have it, to be so accessible versus, oh, I got to make time to find a peace of mind. It's like, nah, I wake up. And when I wake up, it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting in that solitude to gain that peace for the day, you know. So it's a priority for me. So I'm very thankful that I'm actually able to put that on the top of my list versus trying to go chase a bag or trying to get something done. And it's like, nah, I'm actually just flowing. It's like I'm in alignment.
Being in alignment and flowing is something that doesn't happen often. Another thing that doesn't happen often is you can kind of hand the keys over to somebody and be like, now you hold this down for me while I'm gone. The person that was holding it down for you was your sister. Mm-hmm. How much does your sister mean to you?
Wow. Everything. That's my partner. That's my support. That's like my mother, to be honest. She practically raised me. And I had to gain another level of respect and just appreciation for her when she did step up and do that. Because not a lot of people would have did that, you know. And she actually quit her job to run B's Boutique, and she was she was like the only one who understood what I was doing. She was like, sis, I get it, go ahead, go find yourself. So to have someone connected to you to do that and be like, I got you, that was like huge for me, because I didn't like expect her to do it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I need you to run my business, I got something that I need to go do internally. It was like, you know, things wasn't happening and she was like, yo, I got you. And I was like, really? And she was like, I mean, yeah. So my sister is, that's like my everything. I can't even downplay it or anything. Yeah, she mean a lot to me.
What message would you like to send to your supporters?
The message I would love to send to my supporters is just I'm grateful, I'm thankful. Like, I'm real big on whatever I learn, whatever I experience, I always want to pour that into the next, sow that seed into the next. So you guys have been rocking with me since day one. I started B's Boutique in 2014, and to be here in 2022, I mean, I'm thankful. I don't come from, you know, seeing parents run businesses or family members run businesses. So to be where I am today, it's solely from my support system. You know, my supporters. I always say love kept B's Boutique open. And that was from what the community would come in and they will feel that B's Boutique brung. It was straight love and just, you know, it was a vibe. So always. I mean, I had people coming in like, you know, the energy in here was so great, I wanted to come back. So, I mean, yeah, I couldn't be here. I wouldn't be here without my support system. So I just want to say thank you. Huge, immense gratitude. And y'all, let's keep going.
I love it. Nothing else needs to be asked. Welcome back home, sis. Appreciate you for your love.
I'm on tour. I ain't really here, but I'm like.
Well, the reason why I said welcome back home is because, you know, a lot of times you got to kind of distance yourself a little bit so you can welcome yourself back home.
I like that.
You got to welcome yourself back to being mentally stable, to being your energy is right, to making sure that you good. So, you know, welcome home. I think that's pretty dope.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Well, I take it.
I'm glad this was one of the last interviews I'm doing for a while.
Ooh,
so
look at that.
Feels great, and I'm going on break. I'll see y'all later. Ladies and gentlemen, Brittney Bradley on the Chris Gunther Show. Cue my theme song. I'll see y'all next time.
Peace.